Good evening and welcome to game number 4, first one after the round robin series, where Gorman will be taking on Music City Masqueraders. Sorry, the Marauders. Rink running a little behind schedule as they wrapped up the prior game a little late. Starting lineup, Jennings at center, Tritton, Mesa, Trent, and Luong at the blue line. Gorman wins the faceoff, chip it back up at the feet of Tritton. Marauders bring it in the zone, lose control, fed out but not cleared. Mesa working outside the Gorman bench. Gorman wearing white as the home team here. Puck sent out into the near corner. Marauders feed it through and clear. Lakoska in net this evening. As Faircloth was in the game earlier today, Tritton will chip it in and we'll go for a change. Fish. And Godino in the next line up. Kick back into play by Rubino, sent around the boards. Shot wide of the net. Shot from Godino in the slot. Rubino reverses it back around. And the Marauders will bring it back the other way. We have a penalty coming up here already. I believe this will be on Nashville. Number 13. Minute and a half on the board. Puck comes out to Trent, walking along the blue line, behind the slot, sends it back to the near boards. Godino trying to send it to Creel, and it gets chipped out of play. Sorry, out of the zone. Fish to Godino, brought in by Creel. Trent trying to find room. Shot loose out front. Follow-up shot by Westwood. Denied. Center on the boards and just past Godino. And it'll come back because Godino sends it wide to Fish. Walks it up, dangles through, poke checked off, regains possession. Back to the near wall, Godino. Up high, Trent to Fish. Back to Godino. At the bumper is Creel. Couldn't connect for a shot. And Westwood in the far corner sends it around the boards. Back out to Trent. Godino shot through the legs, loose up front. Westwood looking for another opportunity. He couldn't find it. Dropped off. Fish, Trent, shot, sent wide off the pads. And we are back to 5-on-5 play. Creel feeds it back down low. Westwood, shot off the bar. And Gorman will have to regroup. Baldy and Posner now in at the blue line. Feed to Godino. Chips it in, intercepted. And Davis picks that one up in the neutral zone. Brings it in along the near boards. Back out to Baldy. Shot. Loose out front. And the Marauders will pick it up and send it over the other way. Posner on the press. Poke checks it out along the far wall. Picked up by Davis. Davis out to Johnson. To Klaus. One-on-one the other way. Shot. Bouncing puck. Loose. And that'll be a stoppage of play with 11:40 on the boards. Puck comes out. Posner shot stuffed. And the Marauders will bring it back the other way. Creel back checking. Turns it around to Fitzy, who's back in the game after missing the game earlier. And puck out of play. Refs looking for a spare. Face-off coming up in Marauder territory. Fitzy in for the face-off. Fitzy looking for Kerr right outside the crease. Couldn't connect. Creel and Fitzy working in the corner. Puck comes out. Posner trying to set it across through the crease. And Marauders send it around the boards along to the near side of the wall. Shot. And that'll be swallowed up by the goalie. Gorman getting lots of shots on net. Needing to get a little bit more creative maybe. They outscored the opponent earlier today in the 3-1 loss. Tritton in for the faceoff. Jennings on the left. Mesa on the right. Rubino and Larison at the blue line. Marauders come away with the puck. Loose out front. Kept in play by Larison. Fed back down low to Jennings. Or Mesa, sorry. Rubino sends out to Jennings, out to Mesa in the slot. Feeds it down low, and we have another penalty coming up. And this will be on Music City, number 7. Gorman with another power play opportunity. Fitzy, Kerr, Klaus, Cash Johnson, and Larison. Johnson keeps it in play, squeaks by him. Larison comes in to poke check it. Loose at the blue line. Fitzy walks it up. Through the crease, no one home. Klaus on the far wall. Shot off a body. Drops it back. Larison feeds it down low. Kerr waiting out front. And it'll be just over the gloves of Larison as Gorman will regroup back in their zone. Fish in for Klaus. Johnson lost an edge. And Fitzgerald will bring it in. Drops it back to Kerr. Sends it around the boards out to Fish right out front. Godino sends it around just out of reach. Fitzy trying to send it back behind the goal line. Comes out to Trent. Back out to Trent. Running out of room. Walks it up, shot just to the right of the net. About 18 seconds remaining. Kept in play by Trent. In comes Creel. Trent feeds Creel just over the stick. Puck comes out, kept in play by Fish. Dropped back to Trent. Shot. Loose at the feet, at the faceoff dot, and that'll be the end of the penalty. Puck sent before power play was over. Gudino, bouncing puck. Baldy on the rush. Fish sends it back around. Loose out front shot. Save by the Marauders. Cycled back down low. Fish comes into support. Got Baldy at the blue line. 4 referees for this quarterfinal matchup. Puck sent around the boards. Long shift for the Marauders. And that'll be up and out of play. .8:12 remaining in the first period. Shots on goal 9-1 in favor of Gorman. Davis, Klaus, Johnson, Luong, and Posner. Davis in for the faceoff. Davis wins it back. Luong, shot, off a body. Keeps it in play, feeds it back down low. Cash Johnson, the lone Gorman player there. Davis comes into support. Marauders bring it along. Out along the near boards, Posner and Klaus keep it in play. Back out to Davis, to Klaus. Shot, Cash Johnson gets tied up during the shot. And Marauders will send it back the other way. No icing. Gorman stuffed along the near wall here. Luong comes in to support. Looking to bring it back out the other side. Davis clears his zone. He's got Cash Johnson with him. Feeds it across. And Johnson couldn't catch that one cleanly. Marauder player goes headfirst into the boards, untouched. And that will be an icing. Nope, it will not. Lakoska sends it around, back behind his net. As Rubino lost a stick, and Marauders sent around the far boards. Tritton with a hit. Tritton battles for position, shot, loose out front. Follow-up shot just left of the net, Jennings. And we have another penalty coming up. And we'll see how they call this one. And looks like this will be on Gorman as Tritton heads to the bench or the box. Baldy, Creel, Fitzy, and Posner for the Gorman PK. 6:39 remaining in the first period. Marauders win the faceoff. Crashing, Creel lost his stick, broke. As Kerr jumps over the boards, cleared it at the cost of a probably not very inexpensive stick. As the weekend gets more expensive as it goes along. Marauder shot wide of the net. Puck out of reach, and Music City is going to have to regroup in the neutral zone. Misconnection in their own territory. As Fitzy works down along the goal line. Kerr at the neutral zone. Trent and Luong on defense. Fed through high in the slot. Tied up, shot goes wide. Bouncing puck through the crease, cleared, but not enough on it. Shot off a shin, and Gorman gets the clear. Kerr heading to the bench. In comes Davis. 24 seconds remaining. Shot loose out front and covered by Lakoska. Cash Johnson and Davis. Trent and Luong looking to close this one out. 17 seconds left on the penalty kill. Still a 0-0 game. Shots on goal, 11-3, Gorman. Davis in for the faceoff. And Gorman gets the clear. 10 seconds remaining. Davis comes in to support, huge check. And puck up in the air. And not sure what they're calling here. 1 second left. Oh, I think player left the box as it was changing. Nope, Klaus. Too many men is the penalty. All right, there's about 1 second left on the first one, and a fresh too many men penalty. Creel in for the faceoff. Gorman gets one man back. Shot up and over off the glass. Bad bounce for Gorman. Puck cleared, glove down. Rubino has it in the corner. Got Godino working up high. Through the crease, no one home for Music City. And Godino trying to cycle it through. Loses the faceoff dot. Save. 2 saves by Lakoska. Creel gets the clear and goes on the forecheck. Almost comes away with it. Luong and Trent on defense. Godino comes in to support up high. And he'll send it around the boards. 35 seconds remaining. Lakoska with the stop behind the net. Music City feeds it through the crease. Gets poke checked out, still in play. Sent back down low. Luong on the press along the boards. Music City brings along the nearest boards. And that's going to get scooped up by Trent. Trent taking his time. And Gorman has a power play coming up. Not sure what the call was. Four seconds left on the Gorman penalty. Number 5 for the Marauders will head to the box as well. Jennings, Fitzy, Johnson, and Larson. 4 seconds left, and Gorman will be on the power play. Marauders win it, chip it, make the clear. And Gorman back to full strength on the power play. Kerr in as the 5th player. Johnson walks it up, dangles it through, gets tied up. Shot, Kerr. Off the shoulders and out. Nope, still in play. Kerr battling back behind the goal line. Bouncing puck clears. And Larson will go back to retrieve it. Jennings brings it in the zone, brings it around. Out in the far corner, Marauders have it. 41 seconds left. Over the hands. Trent, Fish, Creel, and Godino. Make some corrections here. Puck comes out to Trent along the blue line. Shot tipped. Goes left of the net. Off the glass, still in play. Godino sends it across, off a stick though, and Gorman will have to regroup in the neutral zone. Godino center on the boards. That'll be it. Back to full strength for the Marauders. Cross ice pass. And shot goes wide. Hit given. Creel chips it up and out as Music City will work through the neutral zone. Luong with a hit at the Gorman bench. Godino sends it across to Westwood. He's got an opportunity shot. Loose out front. And the attempt by Fish denied. Klaus in. That'll be offsides. Boys will tag up, come back in. And that should be and is an icing. Face-off coming up in Music City territory. Klaus, Davis, Johnson, Osner, and Luong. Shots on goal 13-7 in favor of Gorman. Davis in for the face-off. Marauders win that one and bring it around. Far side. Get the clear. Waved off, no icing. Goal for Music City. All right, Gorman trailing by 1 near the end of the first. Puck sent up. And it should have been offsides, not heeding the warning of the refs. And the faceoff's going to come on back into Marauders territory. All right, there should be a nice cut here between the first and second period based on the game before. Game before going through overtime and shootout. Mesa trying to feed it through, gets denied. Tritton feeds it back down low. Mesa trying to cycle over to Tritton, comes into support, comes away with it. He's got Jennings out front, shot through the crease. And the goalie sends it the other way and cleared. Foot race with Baldy the other way. All right. And Larison walks it in, dangles through. 17 seconds left. Jennings back behind the net. Puck comes out, shot off the stick, goes high, and that'll be it for the first period. And we will go into an ice cut before resuming play. getting ready to kick off the second period. All right, both teams taking the ice. Both teams starting out full strength to kick off the second. Shots on goal, 14-8 in favor of Gorman. Gorman trailing by 1 near the end of this first period. Koska in net. Kicking off the second period. Bit of a trying to figure out who's who and whether we changed lines up. Creel, Fitzy, Jennings, Trent, and Luong. All right, Jennings in for the faceoff. Back into Marauder territory. Creel comes in, forces a turnover. Picked up by Fitzy. Jennings in pursuit, back behind the net. And Marauders get the clear. Jennings with a hit in the neutral zone. Almost turned over in front of the net. Trent feeds it out to Creel. Creel's got a man on him, sends it down low. Goalie will brush that one aside. Kept in play by Trent. Comes out too long, and we're going to call another penalty. It's like a roughing call by a player. Or not. Looks like it may have just been offsides. Didn't hear him yelling. Kerr in for the face-off. Comes out to Baldy. Baldy chips it up. Bouncing over the stick of Godino. Actually, sorry, Fitzy in the box. We are playing on the PK. They were slow to add it. Pass broken up, turned over to Kerr. Shot, goal! As Kerr gets a shorthanded goal to tie the game. One minute remaining on the PK. Gorman ties it 1-1. All right, Creel, Jennings. Rubino and Larison. Jennings tries chipping it in, gets stuffed. And it'll be an offsides. Puck comes out along the line. No clear winner there. Larison pinches up, chips it down low. Creel sends it further. Gets tied up back behind the net as Marauders bring it along the near wall. They're going to circle back around. 35 seconds left. And they make the zone. First one there for Gorman is Rubino. Sends it around the boards. Not enough to clear. Kept in play. Walked up. Creel gets a stick in there. Larison chips it out wide. Big hit by Jennings. And Long working back behind the net, sends it out, still in play, shot, save, Lakoska. And we are back to full strength. Godino chips it off the boards, trying to hit Fish in stride. Bouncing puck from Jennings to Fish, brings it across, onside, through the middle, Godino walks it up, shot, save. Out Fish in the corner. Cycles around, sends it, trying to hit Westwood. Trent has it at the blue line. Shot, tipped, save off the pads. Out along the near boards, trying to cycle the other way, and that'll be cleared. That will be an icing. Tritton, Davis, Mesa, Baldy, and Posner. 11:54 remaining, tie game. Davis in for the faceoff. Marauders needing one more player. And will be waved off. Gorman wins it, sends back to Baldy, shot, tipped by Davis, just wide. Shot Posner through the crease. Mesa feeds back at the blue line. Baldy sends it across out to Tritton. Tritton trying to send it through. Tritton has it in the corner, chips it up, couldn't clear. Posner feeds it back down low. Davis brings it back the other way, trying to hit Tritton. Bounces off, still in play. Posner sends it back down low. Shot sent wide. Baldy gloves that one down just outside the blue line. He's going to chip it around. Davis chips it in the zone, comes away with it. Couldn't gain possession out front. Fitzy couldn't connect on the pass. Fed back through the legs to Fitzy. Out to Posner. Posner walks it in. Out in the near corner. Shovel pass, clears the zone. Lairdson going to pick that one up at the red line, and he's going to chip it in to himself. Jennings comes in to support in the corner. Creel dropped back at the blue line. Creel couldn't connect at the near boards. Fitzgerald with a hit. And Fitzy brings it back the other way. Makes the zone. Out wide. Feeds it through. Chipped. Couldn't connect. Creel puts body on the line. And Fitzy will send it back around the boards. As Gorman will go for a change. Klaus. And Trent dropping back. Just out of reach of Klaus. That will be an icing. 9:45 remaining in the second. Shots on goal, 20-9. Face off from Gorman territory. Kerr in for the puck drop. Comes out in favor of the Marauders. Trent sends it around out of reach of Luong. Trent sends it around the boards. Chipped and cleared. Foot race the other way. And they're going to go ahead and say that was icing. Kerr, Klaus, and Johnson on a line as lines swapped up a little bit during the cut. Gorman wins the faceoff, brings it through the blue. Luong on the rush, feeds it across, couldn't connect. Kerr out on the far boards. Keeps it in play, battles through the bodies. Pass to Kurth, couldn't connect. As Trent brings it back behind the net, looking for a passing option, stretch pass, chipped in by Cass Johnson. Just left of the net. Gudino pushed off the puck, still has it in play, cycles around. Feeds it out. Two Gorman players with the same idea. Fish walks it up. Shot. Save. Loose up front. Follow-up shot saved as well. As Fish feeds it out to Baldy. Baldy cross to Posner. Shot. Loose. Through the crease. Gudino trying to hit Westwood in the slot. Kept in play by Posner. Marauders regain possession. As Gudino drops it back for Posner. Stretch pass to Westwood. as he feeds it down into the zone. Fish, shot on the glove, up and over, still in play. Westwood drops it back. Baldy, Posner. Tritton hits the ice. As Marauders send the bouncing puck up and out. 7:34 remaining. Davis, Mesa, Tritton, Larson, and Rubino face off in Marauder territory. Marauders win that one back into their corner. Tritton with the press. Davis comes in to support. Brings that behind the goal line. He's got Mesa parked out front. Feeds it to Tritton. Makes his way to Rubino. Rubino's going to cycle up. At the feet of Davis. Tied up. Couldn't get the pass off. Bouncing puck to Tritton. Tritton's going to send it up. No icing. Sent around the boards. Out of reach of Gorman, and it's an opportunity the other way. Larson back checks, gloves it down. Chips it off the boards. Mesa out of reach of Davis, and they will regroup. Off the skate of Tritton. Davis fighting for position. Feeds it out to Tritton. Gorman players loose out front. Davis feeds it back out near wall. Larson sends it through the crease. Larson high in the slot. Rubino. Shot. Loose. Mesa. Shot. Off the body goes wide, and that clears the zone. Rubino chips it in, and that will be an icing with 6:26 remaining. Gorman bench a lot fuller than Music City. Have a feeling these longer shifts and checks are gonna start adding up. Shots on goal 28-10 in favor of Gorman. Gorman wins the faceoff, sends it back into their corner. Pass makes its way to Godino, makes the line. He's gonna send it in the opposite corner, bouncing on net actually. Sent wide by the goalie. Fish with a hit behind the net. Kicked back up by Luong. Godino trying to hit Fish at the faceoff dot. And Trent sends it out wide. Cross-ice pass. Westwood and Fish on the rush. Shot off a body. And Godino will reload. Opt to send it around the boards to Trent. Trent battling against two. Marauders come away with it. And Westwood keeps it in play. Marauders opt to send it off the boards. Chip it in Gorman's zone. And we'll go on the forecheck. Luong working back behind the goal. Drops it back the other way. Westwood gets tripped up. Keeps possession. And Fish will carry it the other way. Drops it back. Shot by Westwood. Just over the net. Fitzgerald with a hit in the corner. Baldy walks it up. Shot. Goal! As Baldy dangles through to make it a 2-1 game with 5:07 remaining in the second period. Puck out in Marauder territory. Jennings, Creel, and Fitzgerald. Fitzy tied up, sends it down low, almost in the net. Goalie couldn't keep sight of it with all the bodies out front. Pass kept in play by Posner. Chips it out. Jennings working at the blue line. Marauders will feed it back, but it's going to get picked up by Fitzy. Shot off of shin, comes back. Baldy and Jennings and Creel working through. Puck comes out into the Gorman zone, and we're going to call a penalty here, or maybe that's just an icing. I believe that's just an icing. Klaus, Kerr, Johnson, Larson, and Rubino. 4:20 remaining. Loose out in the slot. Johnson trying to get a shot off, gets tied up. Kept in play by Kerr. Klaus sends it around the boards. Johnson in pursuit. Beats a man to the corner. At the faceoff dot, Marauders have an opportunity the other way. Fed through. Couldn't connect on the pass. Rubino chips it off the boards. Picked up by Music City. Pass broken up. Kerr sends it to Johnson. High in the slot. Feeds it out. Shot. Just left of the net. Picked up by Johnson during the attempted dump of the puck. Klaus working along the faceoff circle. And Larson working through the neutral zone, gets tied up, feeds it back down low. Gorman going to get a change in as Mesa and Davis hit the ice. Klaus keeps it down low. Shot. Davis in pursuit, keeps it in play, sends it back the other way. Gorman forcing a long shift in the second period here. Mesa working back behind the goal line. Davis takes a hit along the boards. Fighting off two. Tritton comes in to support, and Luong couldn't hold that one in. That will be an icing. Face-off coming up in Music City territory. Trent and Luong at the blue line. Davis in for the face-off. Gorman leading 2-1. 3:03 remaining in the second. Davis wins it back. Trent. Shot. Loose out front. Luong shot. Davis with the tip. Follow-up shot. Save. And Marauders will bring it back the other way. Tritton with a hit. Trent. Pass out to Davis at the blue line. Picked up by Luong. Feeds it up through the neutral zone. And Trent, lone defenseman in the back, looking for an exit strategy. Fishes it up to Tritton. Tritton's got Mesa with him. 2-on-1 the other way. Shot. Deflected wide. Davis gets a stick in there, keeps it in play. Puck right outside the Gorman bench. Leaks out. Couldn't connect. Mesa walks it up. Shot. Body in the way. Tritton keeps it in. Feeds it down low. Save off the pads. Fish comes in. Picked up by the Marauders at the goal line, and they're going to bring it back the other way. Chipped off the boards. That will be an icing with 1:52 remaining in the second. Shots on goal, 34-10. With 2 minutes remaining in the second period. Puck loose at the feet. Music City picks it up. Fish comes in to force a turnover. Godino sends it back. Picked off on its way to Westwood. Godino back to Westwood, back to Godino. Out to the blue line. Shot. And swallowed up by the goalie. All right. Shots on goal, 35-10 in favor of Gorman. And we're going to bring this face off somewhere, maybe somewhere. Someone in the box, someone not in the box. Looks like two players in the box for Music City. For, I believe that is 5. 37, I want to say. 72. Gorman on the power play to close out the period. 5-on-3. The Music City parents not too happy. But comes out of Godino, high in the slots, Fish. One-timer Trent off the leg of Westwood, and the Marauders get the clear. Trent makes the line. Walks it in along the near wall. Fish, Godino high, out to Trent, through the bumper, shot, save, as the goalie keeps it a 2-1 game. The penalties coming from some altercations after stoppage. Godino has it at the blue line, out to Trent, high in the slot. Fish to Godino, couldn't connect. Trent, Godino, Creel bouncing puck loose in the crease, and goalie with the save. 34 seconds remaining in the second period. 33-ish seconds left. On the 5-on-3. Puck comes out. Trent to Godino. Shot, goal. Trent makes it a 3-1 game on a power play goal. Gorman changing the lineup here. Believe that will remove one from the box. Board says 23 seconds left. On the penalties, one will come out. Number 72 leaves the box. Gorman still with a man advantage to close out the second. Fitzy comes in like a wrecking ball. Picks it up, shot, glove save. And a little loud here. And a little close to the other side. Creel on the far wall, sends it up to Rubino. 12 seconds left to Larison. Rubino high in the slot, shot, loose out front, shot, save. Puck still in play, cycle it out, and that'll be it for the second period. All right. Shots on goal coming out of the second period, 42-10 for Gorman. Gorman with only 3 to show, as the Marauders goalie keeping it a relatively tight game. As we head into the third period, as a reminder, this is the quarterfinal matchup, semifinals. Tomorrow morning, championship game tomorrow afternoon. Gorman needing to hold firm here and close it out. And keep all lines firing on all cylinders. Gonna start out the third. Tritton, Mesa, Davis for your forward crew, and your D pairing of Larson. And looks to be Rubino. Lakoska in net. 15 minutes on the board. Davison for the faceoff. Marauders bring it through, chip it in the zone. Rubino sends it around the boards, out to Mesa. Chips it out, couldn't get the clear off the blocker, still in play. Puck comes out to Davis, up Rubino. Rubino takes a hit, fishes it out. Tritton, Mesa on the other side. Shot off the glove, still in play, comes out to Davis on the far wall. At the feet outside the bench, Tritton chips it up and around, still in play as Luong comes up. Sends it into the crease, denied the other way. Tritton comes in to support. 2-on-2 the other way. Baldy off the blocker. And comes out wide. Luong takes a hit. Comes out to Mesa. Leaves it behind for Tritton. Tritton and Mesa battling in the corner. Davis comes in. Luong leaves it for Trent to regroup. Trent to Tritton, chips it in. Not enough to be an icing, but enough to get a change in as Fish comes in, almost picks that one off through the neutral zone. And he winds up and brings it through. He's got Godino on the right, Westwood on the left. Westwood posted out at the crease. Baldy out front, shot off the post. Cleared the other way, foot race, Posner. The other way, shot, save, Lakoska. Comes out high in the slot, shot off the blocker up into the netting as Gorman give up 2 opportunities in quick succession as Marauders come back for a push in the third. 13-15 remaining in the third period. Shots on goal, 42-13. Face-off coming up in Gorman territory. Fish in for the face-off. Gorman picks it up. Rubino to Westwood. Off the boards to Godino. Fish brings it in at the hash marks. Drops it back, trying to hit Godino. Gets tied up. And we have a penalty now on Gorman. And we have a high sticking call as Godino got tied up. Godino getting tied up. And stick came up underneath the mask. Gorman's going to go on the penalty kill. Kerr in for the face-off. Gorman wins it back. Trent tries to clear, picked up at the blue line. Cash Johnson as the other forward. Out along the far wall. High in the slot. Shot tipped, sent wide. Far wall, high in the slot again. Couldn't connect. Kerr tied up. And he brings it back the other way, 2-on-1 with Cash Johnson. Feeds it out to Johnson off the skate, trying to feed it back through to the crease. And Kerr on the back check. Stretch pass out to the blue line. Dropped back, kept in play. Pass along the blue line, shot, left of the net. Comes out to Johnson, who shovels it and gets the clear. Gorman's gonna go for a change. Jennings, Fitzy, Posner and Baldy. Stretch pass off the stick of Baldy. Posner back along the far corner. Drops it back. Jennings comes in, sends it to Baldy. Puck sent out to the blue line, kept in play. Cross-ice pass. Back high in the slot, shot off the shins of Jennings, still in play. Out along the far wall, back to the blue line. Cross ice pass to the near boards. Shot. Glove save. Lakoska with 11:20 remaining. And Gorman back to full strength. Creel, Fitzy, Jennings, Rubino, and Larison coming up for a defensive zone face-off. Fitzy in for the puck drop. Gorman wins it, chips it, gets the clear. Creel almost intercepts that one. Jennings battling outside the bench. Misconnection there. Fitzy trying to take advantage of it. Bouncing puck comes out to Jennings. He's got Creel out front. Goes through, gets tripped up, and that'll be a penalty on Music City as Lakoska heads to the bench. In comes Godino as the sixth skater. Gorman looking to stretch out the delayed penalty. Drops it back. Creel to Godino at his feet. Out to Fish. Sends it in, and that'll be it for the delayed penalty. 10:27 remaining in the third. Gorman with a 3-1 lead. And Gorman will go on the power play as number 15 will head to the box. Godino, Fish, Creel, Westwood, and Trent. Comes out to Trent. Then help from Godino. Trent along the blue line. Trent high in the slot. Westwood shot off the body, goes wide. Kept in play by Trent. Shot. Trent looking for the 5-hole. Shot by Creel, posted out front, out to Godino. Comes back out to Creel. Westwood back to Trent, high in the slot. Shot tipped, goes wide. Fish to Westwood. Back out to the blue line. Westwood, shot. Save. With 9:39 remaining and about 43 seconds left on the power play. Shots on goal up to 45-15 in favor of Gorman. Klaus, Kerr, Fitzy, Johnson, and Larison. Puck comes out to Larison along the blue line. Johnson on the near side. Larison feeds out the Klaus. Shot off the bar. Johnson keeps it in play down in the near corner. Kerr battles for position on it. And puck comes out the other way. Larison on the back check to pick it up. Fitzy brings it out along the near wall. Through the crease, feeds it through, denied by the goalie. Chipped off the glass and out of play. And the Marauders are back to full strength. Kerr walks it in, dangles through, shot, saved by the Marauders. Sorry, that was Fitzy who walked it in. And we have some angry parents is what we have. Don't know if they're going to call penalties in this one or whether they're just trying to yep, we are going to have a penalty on this one. Both players offsetting penalties. Fitzy for Gorman did not catch the number for the Marauders. Face-off coming up center ice with 8:33. Mesa, Davis, Tritton, Luong, and Rubino. All right, Davison for the faceoff. Chips it all the way in. Tritton on the forecheck. Clears through. And the Marauders bring it, make the zone. Shot off a body, loose out front. And covered by Lakoska. Face-off coming up in the Gorman defensive zone. Davison for the puck drop. Wins it back. Luong chips it off the boards out to Mesa. Couldn't get the breakout pass. Davis comes in into the corner. Davis kicks it out to Luong. He's got a man on him. Loose out front, shot through the crease, off the mask. Bouncing puck through the neutral zone. Wired back the other way. And Rubino going to pick that one up, bring it back behind his net. Chips it up. That is going to be no icing. Pretty confident it was going to be an icing. Picked up loose out front. Mesa almost had an opportunity. It gets intercepted by Fish as he wires it down the other way. 7:35 remaining in the third period. Puck comes out, kept in play by Posner. Shot. Fish parked out front, ready to deflect. Gets denied. Godino at the blue line. Posner, shot off a body. Godino far wall, near wall. Back out to Posner. Player down low. D partner Baldy forced back into Gorman territory as they lay in wait. Shot by Mesa. Mesa with a long shift. Fish walks it through, gets denied, back out to Posner, and Baldy still in the neutral zone. Shot. Still loose. Godino working along the far boards. Out to Fish in the slot. Shot stuffed. Bouncing puck through the middle at the hash marks. And Music City gets the clear. Mesa needing to get off the ice. Westwood hops on. It's a long shift for Mesa. And Fish going to bring it out along the far wall. Cross ice pass to Godino. Shot. Looking for the top left corner off the shoulder. Still in play. Trent at the blue line. Pass denied. He's going to walk it up himself. And gets brushed aside. Beats it back out to Fish at the blue line. Shot. Off a body. Loose out front and cleared. As Luong was also parked down the neutral zone with a lone player. Trent in the far corner. Pass out to Westwood. Chipped and cleared. As the Marauders send it into Gorman territory. Around the boards. Trent's going to bounce it through. And it gets the clear. Westwood and Klaus 2-on-1 the other way. Beats it to Klaus. Couldn't connect with the right side of the stick. And puck sent around. Jennings on the far wall. Baldy, nope, Trent parked out at the other blue line. Stretch pass, denied. Gorman picks it up. Luong takes a hit. Jennings gives a hit. And this game is going to get spicier as it finishes, I have a feeling. Stretch pass out to Klaus. Walks it up, shot. Off the face mask, still loose, picked up by Jennings. Shots on goal, 51-15, 4:45 remaining in the third period. Creel battling along the far wall, chipped up by Larson. Creel feeds it out to Jennings. Missing a player here. Mesa in. Mesa with a shot through in the crease, denied by the goalie. Jennings, Rubino out of in the neutral zone with a stretch pass player sitting out there, or cherry picker as they would say. Pass comes out, 2-on-2 the other way. And they're going to cycle back. And out Jennings, Davis in. Larson takes a hit going in the boards. And that'll be a stoppage of play. I expect there to be a 2-minute here for roughing. Number 5 will head back to the box for Music City. Godino, Creel, Fish, Westwood, and Trent. 3:57 remaining. Trent back at the blue line. Westwood at the dot. Shot. And net came off. Or mask came off. Either way, we're going to bring it out into the neutral zone. Happy to see 4 refs through the remainder of the series here. Puck comes out to Trent in the neutral zone, feeds it out along the far wall. Westwood works around, cycles back. Trent at the blue line. Westwood on the side. Godino, shot. Glove save. As the Marauder goalie keeps it to a 3-1 game. Fitzy, Jennings, Kerr, Klaus, and Larson. Puck comes out to Larson, feeds it out to Klaus along the blue line. Shot. Glove save. Gorman wins the faceoff back. Larson to Fitzy. Larson in the slot. Klaus off a body. And Music City brings it back the other way. 1-on-1, dangles through. Larson forces him to the outside. All right, Klaus brings it back the other way. Pass out to Jennings. No icing on the pass. Jennings pressed along the boards, needing support, couldn't get it in time. And Music City is going to wire down the other way. Goska will hold it at the goal line with 13 seconds left on the Gorman power play. Fitzy comes in with speed through the neutral zone. Shot, loose in the crease. And back to 5-on-5 play. Any second here, kept in play by Klaus. Pass out to Fitzy. Full strength for the Marauder. Shot off a body, goes out along the near corner. And we're going to stop the play. Looks like interference is the call. And Music City has another penalty now. .72 with second of the game. Gorman wins a faceoff. Westwood to Trent along the near boards, high in the slot. Trent feeds it down to the faceoff dot. Godino cycles around, sends it back down low. Fish tripped up, and the Marauders get the clear. Trent will head back to regroup. Comes in with speed. Makes the zone. Cross-ice pass. Westwood keeps it in play. Godino high in the slot. Westwood out far. Shot. Off the glove. Still in play. Trent out to Westwood. Creel in the bumper position. Kept in play by Trent. Creel could not get a shot off. Loose out front. Tipped by Fish. Saved by the goalie. Gorman up to a 58 shots on net. 1:12 remaining. Goal! As Tommy Trent gets his second of the game to make it a 4-1 score. Johnson Klaus, Kerr in for Gorman, as well as Posner and Baldy. Kerr battling through the neutral zone, wires it in. Klaus on the forecheck. Puck out along the far wall. Cycled back down low. Johnson pressed off the puck. 38 seconds left. Gorman will have a game tomorrow. .9 is what the clock reads. Shots on goal, 59-16. Gorman wins it out. Into their corner, pinned, 22 seconds left. And comes loose, Kerr brings it across, sends it around the boards, out to Cash Johnson. And that'll wrap it up. Gorman advances to the semifinals. And hot off the press, looks like Gorman will be playing the Dallas Penguins tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. The Penguins with a win in shootout just before this one's what put our game a little late. All right, that'll wrap it up here. Great game across the board. Gorman finishing 59-16 on the shot on goal counter here. The final score a 4-1. Trent with 2 goals to help put this one to bed. We will see everybody tomorrow morning around 8:30 a.m. Central Time, 6:30 a.m. Pacific Time with some coffee. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.